Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal. And by the time you're watching this video, yesterday we got ourselves our very first roadmap for World of Warcraft in the year of 2024, which covers both the retail version of WoW with the Dragonflight updates leading into the War Within expansion, as well as the Classic Plus content from Classic Cataclysm, Season of Discovery, and even Classic Hardcore. And while this roadmap does not give us too many specific details like release dates when it comes to any of the expansions or any of the major updates, it does give us windows of when the War Within might be arriving, when we may see the alpha and the beta of the War Within early access period, as well as additional surprising updates that nobody foresaw, like a mysterious patch of 10.2.6, or even the patch that follows the Season 4 of Dragonflight. So for today's video, I thought it would be a good idea to cover the entire repertoire of updates, releases, and content that's planned for the future of World of Warcraft in the year of 2024, by going over all of the updates in a chronological order, covering both the retail versions of Dragonflight as well as the War Within, as well as the various versions of the classic World of Warcraft. And if you guys enjoy regular updates for anything that has to do with the World of Warcraft, most of you guys watching these kinds of videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do, so let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you want to get more regular content regarding retail or classic World of Warcraft updates. Starting off chronologically, we have the patch 10.2.5, which should be arriving relatively soon. We already know that the most recent PTR build for the 10.2.5 has already become a candidate build, which usually means that the patch should be coming out in the next 2 weeks, though we could possibly see some delays due to the holiday season. But we do know that the patch is dropping in winter, and some of the features that it's going to include are going to be the Dragon Isle epilogue quests, as well as the Gilnea's Reclamation storyline, with worldwide dragon riding where you'll be able to take your dragon mounts and use the dragon riding system everywhere outside of the Dragon Isles. The same also applies for evokers with their Soar ability, which has been converted over on the PTR into a proper dragon riding ability. In a similar vein as to how Worgen can be their own mount, evokers will be able to soar into the sky just like the dragon riding mounts would. Besides this, we also see follower NPC dungeons, which will be amazing for new players learning their class and taking dungeons at their own pace, as well as a new public event of Azerothian archives with plenty of cosmetic rewards for you to earn. Shortly afterwards, in winter, we'll have the patch 10.2.6. However, as of right now, there's nothing that has been unveiled on this patch just yet, and the roadmap only features a pirate flag to signify it. As it stands, your guess is as good as mine as to what this could mean, but many in the community believe that this flag could mean that some kind of a piratey themed event is arriving during the future of Dragonflight. And then around the time that 10.2.6 drops, we'll finally get our very first alpha for the War Within, which will be arriving sometime during the later parts of the winter season. Switching gears, we got even more winter classic updates, like the classic Season of Discovery Phase 2, which will increase the level cap to level 40, add additional class runes, which opens up even more builds and possibilities, which has been honestly the best part of Season of Discovery so far. This phase will also add an additional PvP event similar to the one that we can experience in Ashen Vale, as well as the No Morgon raid, which will be very similar to the BFD raid. But Classic WoW continues to get even more updates as Classic Harcore gets a new self-found mode, which adds additional restrictions to the Hardcore experience. With a self-found mode, you will not be able to gain access to the mailbox or the auction house, and trading with other players will be prohibited until you reach maximum level of 60, which adds a few roadblocks along the way to help spice up the hardcore experience. Come spring, we get access to Season 4 of Dragonflight, which adds additional content like the ability to revisit some of the Dragonflight raids, which will function very similar to the Faded season back during the expansion of Shadowlands. We also get a new PvP and a Mythic Plus season, as well as additional open world rewards. However, sometime later, we also get the patch of 10.2.7 called Dark Heart, which will arrive towards the end of the spring season, where surprisingly we get a bunch of new features like a time-running Pandemonium, which sounds like a brand new Bronze Dragonflight themed event, as well as Harbinger questlines, which help set up the next expansion of the War Within. Certain races such as Trolls and the Draenei will get access to a new Heritage Armor quest, and we got a couple of holiday updates here as well. Switching back over to Classic for Season of Discovery, we have Phase 3, which will raise the level cap to 50, add even more additional class ruins, and adds even more endgame raid content. And around that time, we should also be seeing the pre-patch event for Classic Cataclysm, which will add playable Worgen and Goblin races, improved guild features, account-wide collections, and the transmog customization. At some point between spring and summer, we should also get access to the beta version of The War Within. However, shortly, during the early summer, we should be getting the pre-patch for The War Within patch 11.0.1, which will add additional events in the open world, the warband system, which will allow you to have a lot more account-wide control over all of your characters, the dynamic flying, which is being brought to as many mounts as humanly possible, additional guild updates, and of course a ton of class changes. After a short time in the pre-patch, we get the release of the War Within expansion, and it seems that its current release window is right now planned for the ending of summer and beginning of fall. The War Within will offer additional story quests, the new open world activity of Delves, hero towns which will allow us to better customize our classes, a new allied race of the Earthen, 4 new zones, 8 new dungeons, brand new raid, and a PvP season. And switching back over to the classic side of World of Warcraft, we do have during the early summer season the launch of Cataclysm Classic, which drops with 4 raids, 7 dungeons, 2 heroic dungeons, PvP battlegrounds, as well as the Dark Moon Island and all of the content that Classic Cataclysm had to offer. But shortly after the release of Cataclysm, Season of Discovery will continue to get additional updates with the Phase 4, which increases the level cap to 60, adds additional class ruins, and even more endgame activities. Short time after that, Classic Cataclysm will get its very first patch update, Rise of the Zandalari, which adds additional content such as Zul'Gurub and Zul-Aman instances. Finally, we have fall of 2024, and by this point, when it comes to the roadmap, a lot of the updates become a lot less granular. We don't get nearly as many concrete, specific details regarding some of the content that's coming with that season, but we do know that around that time, patch 11.05 will be coming out for the War Within, which adds additional story, new content, some sort of system update, as well as WoW 20th anniversary, which will likely be something super special as it marks 20 years of World of Warcraft. And around that time, Classic Cataclysm should be going into its Rage of the Firelands phase, which brings us, as the name implies, of the Raid of the Firelands. Season of Discovery continues to get additional updates during the fall of 2024 with some kind of additional endgame content. And for now, this is going to mark the entire roadmap and the future that's been mapped out so far for the year of 2024. And I gotta say, I'm very excited to see how much content they have planned for both the retail as well as the classic WoW versions. Hopefully on this channel we'll get access to the alpha or even the beta of the War Within, like we have been able to with a couple of last few expansions, so that we can cover all of the content that's arriving later in summer and spring. But it's also exciting for me to see that Classic continues to gain additional support. I'm pretty sure Cataclysm is going to be a big draw of Classic WoW for so many players, but I'm so glad that Season of Discovery continues to see additional support in 2024. That version of World of Warcraft with its rune system has been an absolute blast to play through, and I cannot wait what other runes and other playstyles they'll offer in the future phases to come. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.